On Tubi TV, I watched from 1980, starring Jackie Chan, Battle Creek Brawl. You may actually know this by another title, The Big Brawl. I'm finding out that a lot of these Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee films have different titles as time goes by. Return of the Dragon, I guess because he's not playing a returning character, now they call it Way of the Dragon. You know, the one where he fights Chuck Norris in the Coliseum. Anyways, Battle Creek Brawl, I should have looked up more about this. It's kind of a half-assed movie. This is Jackie Chan's first attempt to get into American films. Of like maybe 3 attempts really before it worked. So, well, debatably. Anyways, yeah, I mean, could you even go 4 or 5? Well, so Jackie Chan's the star. I think this takes place in the 20s. It's really hard to determine when this takes place because you see a lot of costumes that are just kind of out of whack. But he's a Chinese immigrant, I believe. I don't think he's born in America. And there's all this brawling going on. There's like these crime bosses that have their fighter. And Jackie Chan is just a guy dating a white chick whose brother works at a clinic and his dad has some kind of shop. But you know, people are giving them a hard time. Jackie Chan shows off quite a few acrobatic abilities, doing a lot of dangerous stuff you wouldn't get anybody in the West to do. You know, like doing his workout on some pillars. His uncle's played by Mako, who has quite the receding hairline like Sherman Hemsley. And he trains him up on Japanese stuff. And for a lot of this, you're just watching Jackie Chan do his shtick. And it probably works best there. Because otherwise, it's a fairly incompetent production. A lot of sound mixing issues. Whenever the Italian crime family shows up, things don't entirely make sense. You know, you find that... I'm going to turn around here. It's just like the boom mic's in the wrong place. Or there's this brawler. They call him Billy Kiss. I should have looked this up. I think it might be the guy who played the Nazi or German rather, or who knows, that fought Indiana Jones by the plane in Raiders of the Lost Ark. I'm going to be doing a commentary track of that this weekend, so maybe we'll talk about that there. But Jackie Chan's kind of getting tested by these people. He roughed them up in the alleyway and kind of did it in a comedic, accidental Buster Keaton type way. Like, oh man, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hit you. Whoops. Tripped you. You know, you've kind of seen that out of him before. Or maybe, hell, it started here. Who knows? But then he goes and does this, like, roller derby thing where he's competing in this roller skate baton relays. And people are trying to rough him up extra. But he managed to thwart it. But it's kind of interesting. Like, I didn't really expect to see some kind of 15-minute long sequence about the importance of some roller skating thing to get $25. Then we have him showing up at the property of these guys. They bring in these like Wu brothers or something to fight him, and it's very jarring. You see Jackie Chan walking, and then you see a bunch of chairs sitting out on this lawn, and the Mafia guy shows up and he walks by, but then you hear the sound effects of somebody coming in. It's like, oh, is he supposed to be sizing up these guys he's fighting? No, we don't watch that. We watch this guy walk by. And then cut to Jackie Chan fighting 2 dudes without any introduction. I had to rewind this twice to make sure that's how this went down. So yeah, the production's pretty bad. And this is from the director of Enter the Dragon, which was like the biggest kung fu fighting movie, I don't know of all time, but definitely up till then. They expected similar returns and they didn't get it. I'm trying to stay away from people here. Oh boy. So, Jackie Chan, his brother, his fiance from China, who's like a nurse, gets kidnapped, and she's been replaced by some prostitute, by these Italian guys. They're like, hey, you're gonna have to fight for us, Jackie Chan. You're gonna have to fight for us in this big brawl, Battle Creek. Or your brother's never gonna get his girl back. Okay, I'll fight for you, but I can keep the money. Okay, sure, whatever. So then Mako trains him up. And you know, there's some fun bit there. Well, I'm going to head over this way. I mean, I guess I don't really know the logistics of or the intricacies of all the Chinese fighting, but you know the similar type thing where there's the punching bag doll thing with the arms on it. Jackie Chan has to block and do the reversals on, and then Mako hits him with it. It's kind of comedic. And every time he messes up in his training, he's gonna have a tough time sleeping because Mako puts the fighting training doll in Jackie Chan's bed and makes that a pain for him to sleep. And you're kind of having a decent laugh. And he heads down to Texas, I guess, via train, and they have this big brawl. And you have various kinds of fighters here. Not so much done in the way of fight choreography. I mean, everybody looks pretty lame. There's just some grappling and some punching kind of stuff. Knock this guy into that, whatever. And then the fighters that remain after the big brawl get divided up, and then they have a bit of a championship tournament. Single elimination. Billy Kiss does this thing where he punches like somebody out there, and he like bear hugs them and kisses them on the mouth. Everybody takes a picture and the guy dies. But you'll see stuff where it's like the cops are dressed like they're 1970s cops or early 80s cops. And then hell, they had these weird like Mylar suits during the roller skating thing, and even had helmets. And I don't really think they had such helmets in the 1920s. Because bear in mind, football players didn't even really have helmets. So, yeah, Jackie Chan ultimately has to fight Billy Kiss. During the fight, Jackie has to put off winning early because his uncle Mako got kidnapped. And then Mako escapes, rings a bell. He's like, hey, I'm okay, go ahead and finish him. And then they run off into this movie theater where some guys are revealed to have roughed up his buddy at the roller skating thing. Yeah, I left that out because it didn't really matter too much. He had a white buddy who got banged around pretty bad. And he got his face cut up and left for dead. Anyways, he roughs these guys up some. And then he goes back out there to fight Billy Kiss. Does a pretty cool like flip off of like a truck or a stage or something. And then does this like lay on the ground back handspring kick to the face thing with a twist to knock him out. And then you hear something from the mobster guy. They're everybody's cheering, and maybe it's like, okay, well, let go of your sister-in-law. Bye. In the movie, I couldn't catch what they were saying, and I couldn't turn on subtitles. Yeah, Jackie Chan would later, and I think this movie is available to watch somewhere, probably Tubi TV still. He would try breaking back into the U.S. as a star with The Protector in 1985, but it really wasn't till 1995's Rumble in the Bronx that anybody my age really knew who Jackie Chan was. Like, Rumble in the Bronx turns up, suddenly at school, everybody's Jackie Chan fan. That was in 95. And I gotta wonder if audiences today know him from that, or did they feel like they discovered him with what? Like, was it 97 or 98's Rush Hour? I think it was 98. Anyways, the Big Brawl / Battle Creek Brawl, I give it 2 out of 4 stars.